Be the answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, our meteorologist Steve Williams.
Sunshine today with a high at 26. It'll be a clear and cold night tonight, low down to 12. A sunny, breezy afternoon tomorrow, the high 38. Plenty of sun on Saturday, a bit milder, high 47. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
12 degrees at O'Hare, 15 Lakefront, 7 in Aurora. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kobaba. Every Saturday morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Cause they got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, we're coming to you live from CPGIO in Addison, part of our Signature Bank business tour that we embarked upon last week. And this is a very special edition of Campus Beat. You know, as many times as we've had Mitch Daniels on the show, I don't think I've ever asked him if this story about him is true. Story I heard about Daniels was when he was first elected governor of Indiana.
Yeah.
And it's one of these stories about little things indicative of big things. He went and looked at the state's fleet of cars, fleets of vehicles, and he put a coin in the back tire of every vehicle. And then he came back, sometime later, a month later, a couple months later.
To see if the coin was still there?
Yeah. And
to see if they were used.
For all the vehicles where the coin was still on that back tire, they got sold because clearly the state didn't need them. Oh. And it was just a way of starting to change the culture in Indiana, the political culture there, because for those who recall, it was governed by Democrats for the previous 2 decades prior to Mitch Daniels winning the governorship. And, of course, the 2 decades now that include Daniels' governorship, Indiana is one of the great turnaround stories in America.
And I think they have a budget surplus, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, which is a phrase that hasn't been used in Illinois since the 18th century.
Exactly.
And now, of course, about a decade ago, he went over to Purdue University after deciding not to run for president of the United States, much to the chagrin of many, myself included. And Purdue University announced this week 9th consecutive year of a tuition freeze.
Ugh. My parents went to Purdue. That's
great.
How I came to be me.
Great university.
It's a great university.
And
yes.
Getting better. And I wonder if now is that just all a function of Drew Brees is giving more? Or does it have something to do with maybe Mitch Daniels taking the model he used in state government and applying it to the collegiate level? For more on this, we should ask him. Mitch Daniels, president of Purdue University, former Indiana governor. Thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. No, the story's
so
true.
Is that story about
with two, well, there are just 2 things. I didn't personally go around the garage. We had some young tigers who came up with that idea. We knew there was 1 vehicle somehow for every 3 state employees, and that seemed excessive, but we were rookies, so we checked. And I would like to point out the coins involved were pennies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You weren't throwing quarters around. You weren't being profligate. Yeah.
No, it wasn't necessary.
So how many vehicles did you end up selling?
Don't know, Amy, eventually a ton, thousands. But I do remember by late spring or something that year for a little stunt, I went out and played auctioneer at the 1,000th, and we auctioned off the 1,000th extra vehicle. I can't remember how far we finally went with that, but we had a few more than we needed.
So is West Lafayette now becoming like Mackinac Island? There's no cars allowed there either, with you as the president of Purdue?
Well, we try to be reasonable about things. I will tell you this: when I got here, they had a perfectly, I thought, serviceable car that had been used for, I think, 7 years by whoever had my job, and they were going to trade it in. I said, don't do that. It looks like it runs fine. I'm still driving it, and that's 7.5 years later. So, you can get more value out of things if you're of a mind to.
So, speaking of that, and congratulations to all the Purdue families who are sending their kids to Purdue and enjoying the 9th consecutive year of tuition freeze. Why can Purdue do it, and so many other universities, including those universities with huge multi-billion-dollar endowments, why can't they do it?
I don't. We don't prescribe anything we're doing, whether it's this or a variety of other ideas we've tried for anybody else. I would just say that it hasn't been. I don't consider it to have been that hard. Matter of what you prioritize. Sometimes I say to people, well, we just solve the equation for zero. If you decide to, try to fix that variable at the tuition increase at zero, what do we have to do to make that work? And it's been a combination of yes, some economies, although boy, I tell you, there's still all sorts of things here I think we could do less expensively, and it's turned out that we've been able to grow the university when many others are struggling to stay at their current size. We've grown, and so as in business, more revenue on the top line helps you fix a lot of problems.
Well, and importantly, and this is a great marketing play in addition to management play, Purdue University graduates 50% more of its students without debt-free, than the national average, and that's a pretty attractive. That's got a pretty attractive feature to parents thinking about where their kids are going to go to school, particularly when Purdue is a well-respected university to begin with.
Thanks for noticing. Yeah, we're about to 60% of our grads leaving with zero debt. The total debt's down over a third, even though the student body's bigger. So we are gaining on that, and that is the goal. Dan, and we're proud, by the way, Amy, that we're going to claim you as a product, at least biologically, of our school. I wish you'd gone here too, but
she went to Iowa. Well, she went to the Open Enrollment University in the Big Ten instead of Purdue.
Well, that's an excellent school too. But I guess my point is, our school, despite the Nobel Prize winners and the great reputation our graduates have built for it, was and is a land-grant school. We were put here to open the doors of higher education back after the Civil War, and that still matters to us. This has never been a place. When I meet great Purdue grads, I meet them all over the world who've done great things. They almost never came from, privileged backgrounds. This is one of those schools where the kid from downtown or the small town or the farm came, and we want to always be that sort of place.
Yeah, and I was recently on your campus over the summer, and you have made such amazing, there's new dorms that are being built in your downtown area. It's really a cute campus now.
Well, that matters, Amy. Thanks for noticing that. We, you have to do these things carefully, but there's no question. People talk a lot about sense of place and so forth. It can be, I think, overdone, but yeah, we think it matters to build an environment that's really inviting and terrifically pleasant to the brightest faculty in the world, the brightest students we're trying to attract, increasingly to businesses who we want to locate near here. While we waited, I listened to your traffic. Every time I listen to a Chicago traffic report, I think, why do people put themselves through that? And, here you can, if you can't walk or bike to your job, you can live if you want, on a beautiful piece of pastoral real estate and be at work in 15 minutes. And we're trying to make certain that this is a very inviting and high quality of life place to be.
I want to take a little jaunt over to the curriculum side, what's happening in the academic side of the university. And there was a story out last month about including a new graduation requirement or two at Purdue. One of them that was particularly, well, both are actually interesting, but one requiring essentially data analyzing skills, econometric skills, because no matter what discipline you go into, you need to have ability to analyze, synthesize data, extract value and meaning from data, particularly in the digital economy. And I just wanted to get your the background on that in terms of why you're pushing in that direction.
You read that right, and I think you stated the case well. This is almost the ability to at least interrogate data in a smart way, and therefore make better decisions because of it is becoming the currency of the realm in almost every walk of life. Ranging from IT and high-tech businesses and manufacturing all the way to sports. And so we are seeking to integrate it, make certain that some portion of it is ubiquitous on our campus. No matter what else you're studying, we want you to leave with at least, I sometimes say, not every Boilermaker leaving needs to be able to build the next great database, but you ought to be able to ask smart questions of it and know what it's capable of doing. And so we're definitely trying to make that a part of every student's experience, just the way English composition has been for so many decades.
And the other potential additional graduation requirement, civics literacy.
Right. There have been, you've probably reported on it because everybody has over time. There's just an abysmal lack of knowledge, and it's no longer limited to young people across our society. You got high percentages of people think Judge Judy's on the Supreme Court, things like that. And
that's true. They do.
I didn't make that up. And so you see these surveys, Ivy League graduates who don't understand. It's not just they don't understand the facts, what the three branches of government are, so forth. They don't understand the principles of a free society. And if you really want to stay free and govern yourselves, not turn it over to, some dictator from left or right, then, the citizenry has to have a basic understanding of why we do what we do and what their role in it is. So we're not thinking of anything too burdensome. I started out saying I'd like to be able, for all our grads, to be able to tell the world, or for the world to know, that they know at least as much about our system as an immigrant passing the naturalization test. And we're going to keep it, I hope, very simple. Our faculty's working on it now. They seem sympathetic to the idea of some non-burdensome way for a student to first pass a simple test sometime in 4 years. Could be the day they arrive or the day before they graduate. And maybe do another thing or two that indicates a level of engagement and participation. So I hope we'll do that. I wish it wasn't necessary, but in a world where so few or such a small percentage of Americans seem to have a grip on these things, we'd like to certify that Boilermakers are ready for citizenship.
He is former Indiana governor and current Purdue University president, Mitch Daniels. Mitch, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on the success at Purdue. Continued success. You're continuing to make the Hoosier land a lot more attractive to the land of Lincoln. That's no question about it.
We have an increasing number, hundreds of Illinois students on our campus. I always greet them when I find them. I always tell them, "You're refugees." I say we have a very generous asylum policy here in Indiana, and you're welcome. You're welcome to stick around if you like. So, thanks for the invitation.
Thank goodness for it. Yeah, we come for the education. We stay for the property tax rates. Yeah, thanks, Mitch.
Thanks. Always a pleasure. Yes, and he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hey, if you've thought, if you thought about taking advantage of the 2-for-1 offer on the MyPillow Giza cotton sheets, I suggest you do it today because the offer could end at any time. And you've heard me talk endlessly about the great night's sleep I get with MyPillow and those soft, comfy, cooling Giza cotton sheets. So don't procrastinate. Do it today. 2 sets for the price of 1. Plus, if you use the promo code Amy, you can still get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, mattress toppers,